Good evening, Facebook. So, it is day 14 of my 14-day challenge, and I've just realised that I forgot that my daughter tied my strings in a bow earlier as I was putting her to bed. She just learned to tie her shoelaces, in case you're wondering. So, tonight I want to talk to you about 3 ways to motivate your child to learn and grow positively. So, I've talked a lot about positive behaviour, ways to be positive, ways to be grateful, a lot over the last 14 days, because I think it truly is so important for our mindset that we try and maintain a positive attitude, especially during these unusual times at the moment. So, how can we do that with our children? Well, first, let's think about being a parent. It's amazing, but God, it's hard work sometimes. And when you're thinking about having a child, it's all lovely and romantic, and you think about this little baby, and then they grow up, and you get so many challenges with having children, challenges you don't expect, and you want them to be strong personalities, and then sometimes they're so strong, you're thinking, what have I created? I've created this monster, because they're pushing the boundaries all the time. And so life as a parent can be a roller coaster, to say the least. And I'm lucky that both of mine are very, very outgoing. They're very confident, which I love, because as a child, I was always very shy. I was too scared to say boo to a goose. So I'm pleased that my children are stronger characters than I was as a child. But equally, as a parent, I find it hard sometimes to know how to focus, I suppose, that energy in a positive way. So we already do some things, and I know that I'm really lucky. I'm very grateful. I worked in a health retreat, so I learned a lot about positivity. I learned a lot about grateful. I learned a lot about mindset, about gratitude, So with my children already, we already talk about being positive all the time. And, if they're being a bit down, I say to them, let's try and be positive. What can we say that's positive? They have affirmations that they can say, such as I am loved, I am kind, I am caring, I am hardworking. Just simple, simple things that they can say, that any child could say, really. We also talk about making choices. So when they're maybe got a bit grumpy, we say Mr. Grumpy in their tummy, we talk about making choices and how they can choose how to behave like that, or they can try and choose to change their behaviour and be happier, basically, which is quite a hard concept for a child. But I think it's one that if you sort of teach it early enough, it helps prepare them for life. And then before they go to bed every night, we talk about 5 things that they're grateful for, 5 things that made them happy during the day. So those are things that we sort of do at home. But I'm always trying to learn about new things. So when I stumbled across this information, I thought that would be really good to share, because there's loads of parents on my Facebook friends list, probably loads of grandparents as well, that this might help out with. So when a child is being difficult, shall we say, we're all too quick sometimes to point out what they're doing wrong. And actually, if you imagine this was flipped, how would you feel if it was you? Say you're at work and you'd been caught doing something wrong and someone started criticising you. How would you feel? Would you want to go, oh, sorry, I'll change that, I'll do that? No. As a human, if we are criticised, it makes us want to push back. We immediately want to say, no, sorry, no, I was doing this, or I was doing this. We immediately want to try and explain what we're doing, and that's what children do. So what we need to try and do is we need to try and catch children being good. Now, I remember being taught this when I was a primary school teacher, catch them being good, especially the naughty ones. So if your child has behaved well during dinner, say, I love the way you sat so nicely during dinner, or I love the way you used your knife and fork, or well done for completing your homework when you got home, or, thanks for waiting so patiently while I talked to my friend. Anytime you can catch your children being good, try and point it out to them. The reason is because if you imagine them as like a little bank, and every time you say something positive, you're filling up, this is me pinpointing, you're filling up their positivity bank. So then if you have to say something negative to your child, it's not going to bring them right down, because they're already stocked full of positivity coins. So if you just take one out as a negative, they're not going to plummet. They're not going to suddenly lose it, okay, have a major drop, because they've already been filled up with positivity. So that's number one. Number two, choices, not ultimatums. We've all been there. It's the end of a busy day. We're stressed. You've asked your child 5 times to pick up their shoes or to put their school bag away or hang up their coat, and they haven't. And you can feel yourself bubbling. And you're like, if you don't pick up your shoes, if you don't put away your school bag, that's it. I'm taking away your blah, blah, blah. So in my house, we're taking away your Kindle for a day. Doesn't go down well. What happens? They react because they're angry. You feel rubbish because you've been mean and you've shouted. And really, it doesn't solve anything. It leaves a really negative taste in your mouth. It leaves a negative feeling in the air. It's not nice for anybody. Everyone feels a bit crappy. So, choices, not ultimatums. So, try and take a breath. It's hard when you're stressed and your children are pushing all your buttons. And think, okay, what can I do? Can you please pick up your shoes now and put them in the cupboard? Or would you rather pick them up when you finished watching that episode? Because the likely thing is, they'll probably do it now. Because it's their choice. You've not forced them to do it. Would you rather have carrots or broccoli with your dinner? They might not like either, but if you give them a choice, they might moan, but they will choose one. Would you rather tidy your bedroom today or tomorrow? Choices. Because it makes them feel responsible. It makes them feel like you trust them. And it gives them that little bit of independence to make their own decision, knowing that actually you're still there and supporting them. Okay, so choices, not ultimatums. And number 3, and this is hard, model the behaviour you want to see. So it's not do as I say, not what I do. You have to be what you want them to become. So we have a rule in our house, no electronics at the dinner table. It's not always easy. Sometimes I might be checking something. They'll go, Mum, no electronics. Or Steve might be playing Words with Friends. Steve, no electronics. They know the rules and they'll catch us out on it. But equally, sometimes they'll say, Mum, can we look at the school dinner app so we can know what happened for dinner today? So it's a kind of a level playing field at times. But you have to act like you want them to act. So maybe your child has low self-esteem and you're thinking, why? What can I do to help? Listen to yourself. Are you always like looking at the wrinkles? The grey hair? Yes? Are you always going, oh God, I'm getting so fat? Have you got low self-esteem? Is your child picking up your negative vibes? Maybe you want your child to start reading more. Do they ever see you with a book? Maybe you want them to take an interest in a sport. Do you do any sport? This is hard because obviously we always want the best for our children and we think we know what's best for them because we've lived our life and we have experience. But actually sometimes modelling that behaviour is even harder. I'm not particularly sporty. I try. I used to love netball at school. I used to love rounders at school. But over here, there's nothing really like that. And I try and do my jogging and I try and do my skipping, but I'm a bit rubbish. So it's hard for me to try and motivate my children to exercise. But one thing we all do is we love going on a dog walk. And at the moment, my children seem to love parkour. They don't do parkour, they jump on rocks and jump off them again, but to them, that's parkour. So they're running, they're exercising, we play tag. You know, we play catch with the ball sometimes. So that is how we are doing our exercising. Reading. You know, I still, even though they're 9 and 6, I still sit down and read a storybook to them. Pretty much every night, at least 5 nights a week. Because I love reading. And now William's loving reading. And at the weekends, they're not allowed to wake us up for 8 o'clock They still do, of course they do. But they know they're not allowed the TV on till 8 o'clock, so they will read. William will read now, you know, through his own choice, and Amelia will pick up a colouring book and colour and try and do some reading and try and do some writing. So you have to model what you want them to be, and it is hard. It is hard. Being a parent is hard. No one ever said it was going to be easy. So these are 3 tips that hopefully will motivate your child to learn and how to grow more positively. So just to reaffirm them quickly, catch your child doing something good. Okay, build up that positivity bank. Give them choices, not ultimatums, and model behaviour. Okay, so 3 things that you can try and implement today, this week, this month, to try and help your child be more positive and to grow in a more positive way. I hope this has been really helpful. If you would like one super tip to help supercharge these ideas, then pop me a private message and I can send it through to you. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching my 14 days. I have loved it. I've learned so much. I appreciate all of you who've come on, all of you who've commented, all of you who've sent me private messages about the chats that I've done to say thank you. I feel truly blessed. And I might not carry on doing a live every single day, but I will definitely be doing a lot more. So thank you. And this is over and out from my 14-day challenge. Thanks, everyone. Take care and have a great night. Bye.